Welcome back, everybody. Derrick Sue, your East Oakland advocate. Well, it's Friday the 13th. Is it an unlucky day for you? For me, the Friday the 13th has never been an unlucky day because the number 13 is one of my lucky numbers. And this dates back to when I realized it, um, when I was being raised by my black nanny. When we lived on Buenaventura here in East Oakland. Her favorite station, as soon as she came in the door, was turning the radio on in the kitchen. And that radio station was Lucky 13, KDIA. Yeah, so 13 is a good number for me, but for some of you who are superstitious, Friday the 13th is kind of like a Jason day. Jason from the horror movies and many others. So anyway, I bring up Friday the 13th because a superstition. And then today here in Oakland, it's raining right now. And it was supposed to be mostly sunny, but it's raining right now. And I had made an earlier post on Facebook, and somebody asked, does crime really go down in the rain? Well, I don't know about everywhere, but I know in the homeless camps, crime drops. And how do I know? Because I was the manager for Oakland's only sanctuary homeless encampment from 2018 up until 2020, or 2022, I should say, when I was burned out and I gave the city of Oakland the go-ahead to close that encampment down because I'm not returning. That's what I told them. And so they pulled all the porta potties, everything out of there. We have some people moving back in there right now. I've been checking every day. I go out there and I talk to the people. That's the difference between a city worker and a homeless advocate. A homeless advocate gets right down into the camps. We talk with the people, even if they're dangerous. We figure that out. And in my encampment, the city of Oakland, because of my sanctuary status, I also was required to assist criminal element, meaning if they had guns, they had needs, I was there to help them as part of the city sanctioning. So those of you who say that, well, how did you get the criminals in there and why did you service them? Because I was required to under the city of Oakland agreement that myself and city of Oakland at that time was Libby Schaff. We made an agreement because they couldn't displace me. I had an ID with my home address as 877th Avenue. And the business at 877th Avenue supported me. And so city of Oakland had nothing. They couldn't do anything. And then they tried another thing. They said they were going to evict me from the city property. And I said, how is 77th Ave city property? It's in the city domain. They told me. I said, you need to go check the county records, because in 1963, Mr. Ng, who owns the building at 877th Avenue, bought out the street. Yes, he bought out the street. The street was already closed because of the impending BART tracks that were going to be built right across 77th Ave, which went across San Leandro Street back then. But because the BART project closed 77th Ave at the very end, and there was no other businesses realistically other than RA and the businesses that Mr. Ng had employed or had leased at that time. But and so I called in to question that, and then the city's, oh, that's a problem. And so that's what halted them, and that's how I got my city sanctioning, because I did my research. I used the county records to protect myself. And so that was one of the things that I did, and how I got city sanctioning. The other thing is that when it, let me tell you, my camp was always really busy 24/7 with the criminals. They were going in and out constantly. But the exception being rainy days, rainy nights. Rainy days, rainy nights, I had literally nobody in the camp in terms of criminals. And you say, oh, well, why is that? It's because the criminals have homes. They go somewhere else. If they don't have a home of their own already, they go to a friend's home and stay warm and dry. So a lot of you folks say, well, we can't clear all the homes because, oh, well, no. Here's the thing. A lot of the homeless camps, like mine even, is embedded with criminals. And those criminals, they have a home. They have somewhere else to go. If they don't have somewhere else to go, you'll notice them, like I did. I noticed the ones that didn't have a home, but a majority of them did have a home, a dry, warm place to go when it rained or when it was really windy. So by removing all of the homeless encampments from the street, or to start with, all of those, we start getting into housing. The housing that I'm proposing for the city of Oakland. This is permanent, long-term settlements. So a person can live there from the day that they enter to 100 years, or 50 years is the lease on one of the properties right now. So for the next 50 years, they would be able to live in that home until the renewal portion of that property happens. But anyway, criminals have homes, a majority of them. I know this for a fact because the criminal who burned my place, Gunner, he has a place. He has a family close by. So he just used the place to store his person that was that he had, and then also all of his illegal criminal activities. He even had a switch on a Glock. Yeah, he had one of those. So working alongside the criminal element, knowing that I could be killed at any time, is very distressing at times, and why a lot of people don't want to work in the Oakland homeless administration, because it is so dangerous. And the reason why I was able to is because I carry guns. I'm a licensed CCW, a federal firearms licensed CCW. Plus, I was trained by the government and trained, legally trained by Department of Justice and several other government institutions. And that's why I still carry a weapon today. In fact, I carry a .45. It was my, it previously was my retired duty weapon. And because of my brand new gun was destroyed in that fire that Gunner burned down, I brought out of retirement my SOCOM, Special Operations Command weapon, and that was my .45. And so I carry that one now, and it's a formidable weapon, let me tell you, because it is a guaranteed 92% one-shot drop. 92%. That is the highest percentage that you can get on a handgun. 92% one-shot stop. One-shot stop. So anyway, the criminals, they don't like being in the rain. Hell, we don't like being in the rain. So there are fewer crimes being committed on rainy days. And folks are saying, well, do you know that for a fact? Yes, I do. Because the criminal activity in my encampment dropped to zero. Literally, while it rains, it drops to zero. Or if it's really windy. There's still some activity, but not as much, not like on a rainy day. So, like I said, a lot of the criminals, they'll go hold up in a warm, dry place with their friends, cohorts, family, or whatever. And one of the things I wanted to let you know is that a criminal doesn't have just one hideout in an Oakland encampment. I've known criminals with 30 where they were embedded in practically all East Oakland encampments, and some spreading out through other parts of Oakland. And then you have criminals that have embedded themselves in encampments like Wood Street, like the Home Depot. And we've seen the crime and the criminals there. We've seen the fires. We've seen the deaths, the constant deaths. And we see hundreds and hundreds of stolen vehicles over there. So we know that Wood Street was a hotbed of criminal activity, and as was High Street along Alameda Avenue, the Home Depot. We knew that was a hotbed of criminal activity because one of the gangs that was going up against me, they were caught over there. One of their bag men was in possession of over a dozen automatic weapons and over 10,000 rounds in the vehicle when police apprehended that person. So that took a lot of weapons off the streets and saved some lives for sure. But right now, in the last numbers for Oakland, sadly, the homeless population rose. It rose, and it rose up to 9.6%. It rose 9.6% since the last pit count 2 years ago. That's an additional 430 people that ended up on the streets with nowhere to go. And yet, City of Oakland spends or mismanages a lot, millions of dollars. And just by my accounting for the last decade with the City of Oakland, we've exceeded $100 million of expenditures on the homeless, because it's not just the sweeps, it's the constant maintenance that they do also. And here's a really scary statistic. When the City of Oakland conducts a sweep, this information comes out of the Oakland City Auditor's Office. The average cost to do a sweep per hour here in Oakland, with police coverage and security, plus workers and equipment, not including the dump fees, is $1,500 per hour. And we have, on many occasions, between 8 to 12 hours of work being done. So you think about that. That's a lot of money. That's $12,000 per sweep minimum. $12,000 per sweep. And City of Oakland this last week conducted sweeps every day for the last 3 weeks. Now think about that and what that's doing to the budget here in the City of Oakland. So anyway, homelessness is up 9.6 in the City of Oakland. But here's another fact. Alameda County overall, as a whole, homelessness is down 3%. Interesting. And 58% of all the homeless are situated in Oakland, not in any of the other cities of Alameda County. 58% are located in Oakland. Now, why is that? That's because of lax policing, the ability for criminals to move freely, and also not worry about being pursued because of Oakland's stupid do not pursue policy. And that's what I'm really upset about, and why a main focus why I'm running to become your next Oakland mayor, to make these major changes that Oakland seriously and desperately needs to regain some sort of confidence where people will move back to the city of Oakland and bring businesses back to the city of Oakland. Thanks for joining me today. Is Friday the 13th lucky for you or unlucky?